Alex, so welcome back to another video. Today I am bringing you my May TBR. I have so many books on this TBR. I think I am riding on the overconfidence that comes with having completed a magical readathon successfully, and instead of being like, I'm probably gonna feel burnout in May, I've gone, no, let's go hard. We'll see how this goes. A few of these are for vlog projects, so they will likely, at least there will be an attempt to read them, but we shall see. The first vlog project that I have for the month is I'm going to be reading some Reylo fan fiction for a Star Wars themed vlog, because I could read some Star Wars books, or I could read some Reylo fan fiction. So these are all fanfics that have been turned into actual novels. The first one being The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood. I believe that this is based on Adam Driver, because the character's name is Adam. And we are following a third-year PhD candidate, Olive Smith, who doesn't really have a good time with lasting relationships. So she goes on a date with a guy and it doesn't really work out. And then her friend gets a crush on this guy and she is feeling guilty because of girl code, and Olive decides to pretend that she's going on a date with someone so that this other girl is fine dating this guy, because like Olive really doesn't care. So instead of actually going on a date because it's an imaginary date, she goes to hang out at her lab. So when her friend walks into the lab, she grabs the first guy she sees and kisses him. This guy happens to be a professor who has a terrible reputation for being an absolute grump, and it turns out that he is okay going along with being her fake boyfriend because he is due to get a grant for some kind of research that he's doing at this university, but I think because he's young, he's deemed like a flight risk, like he has no commitment to stay. So if he is in a committed relationship, he is more likely to get this grant. So it's a fake dating trope that eventually turns into actual dating. I'm excited to get to this one. I have read Bride by Ali Hazelwood and it was fine, so I'm hoping that I'll have a better time with her contemporary than with her romantasy. The next one on this agenda is The Hurricane Wars, which is a fantasy Reylo fanfic retelling. I've heard mixed things at best about this, but I'm so curious. And this one is basically literally the relationship between Kylo Ren and Rey, and like one's from the Force of Dark and one's from the Force of Light, and they're at war, and she's kind of like got this power that she shouldn't have, and I don't know much about it. I just know that it's Reylo fanfic, and I just want to give it a go and see how someone handles that in a fantasy setting. Then we have Go Hex Yourself, which is a witch and vampire romance, I believe, or wizards. And then the last one is My Roommate is a Vampire, in which we have a human woman and a vampire. I don't really need to know the synopses of these. I went through a list of Reylo fanfiction and picked up a few that sounded fun, and that's all I got on them. You'll see the vlog at some point and you'll be able to be like, oh, okay, this is what this one's about, because you'll find out alongside me. The next vlog project that I would have after that is I have my spinner wheel. My spinner wheel for the month of May is going to be Asian heritage themed. So it's going to be Asian authors. I'm going to go with my usual 3 categories of comfort zone, out of my comfort zone, and series. So we'll see what comes up from that. Obviously I don't know yet, but I've got some in there that I'm really excited for. Another vlog project that I have is I'm hoping to read some mythology books. So the first one I have is The Goddess of the River by Vaishnavi Patel. This one is by the same author of Kaiki, which was one of my favourite mythology retellings. And in this one we are following Ganga, who is a goddess of the river and the caretaker to the godlings who roam her banks. I believe that she's a mother, which is always something that I really enjoy reading in my mythology, and I just loved Kaiki so much that I'm really excited to see another retelling from this author. This one's going on the list. And then the other mythology retelling that I have is The Weaver and the Witch Queen by Genevieve Gornichek, another one of my favourite authors who wrote The Witch's Heart, which was a Norse mythology retelling. I believe this one's a Norse mythology retelling as well, and we're following, I think, 3 women who, when they are children, have like a prophecy told to them, and it's about their lives. I don't even know if this is from a real myth. If it is, it's not one that I know. I'm not as well versed in Norse as I am in a lot of others for some reason. I've read the Eddas, but that's about it. So I'm very excited to get to this one and find out more about these women. And the last one I have on here is one that I'm hoping to do as a buddy read, and this one is The Song of the Huntress by Lucy Holland. She's the author of Sister Song, and I absolutely love that book. So again, this is just me reading some of my favourite mythology author's second books. I'm so excited for it. This one is Celtic mythology. I don't know very much else about it. These are all just, I love the author's first works. I want the second ones. That's it. So hopefully I will have a good time with all of these. Talking of buddy reads, I have also said that I will buddy read The War of the Flowers with my friend Chris. This came up in my jar picks last month, and then I used it for the prompt in Magical Readathon where you read the first line. So basically I got 3 picks from my jar, and then it turns out that the Magical Readathon prompt was read the first line of 3 books. So I read the first line of all 3 books that were in my jar, and then I picked a different one. So this one got rolled over into May, and now I'm reading it with Chris from A Fictional Escapist, who I'll leave link down below. So I am very excited to get to this one. I really liked the first Austen Ard series, the Memory, Sorrow and Thorn series by this author. So reading like a standalone that is, I think, Portal Fantasy. I'm very excited to give this one a go and read it with Chris and get his thoughts. And then I've got my book club picks. I have started a couple of book clubs over on my Discord because why not? I really like reading with people. And this first one I picked as a book club pick because the only way I'm going to read this is if I'm reading this alongside other people. And that is the Soldier Son trilogy by Robin Hobb. This is Robin Hobb's non-Realm of the Eldlings books, and I read the first book and halfway through the second one and DNF'd the series. So the only way I am getting back into this series is if I'm chatting to people about it. So that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm going to be picking up, well, I've already picked this up in April because this is the book for April and May, which is Shaman's Crossing, the first book in the Soldier Son series. In this story we are following a boy named Neva, who is the son of an important figure in this Western setting, and he happens to be sent to, he has a power that he shouldn't have, and he gets sent to go live with what is basically the Native American people. And it's like the conflict between the Western colonizers and the Native Americans spanned across a fantasy setting. There is a weird sexual plague in here, which was an interesting choice. I'm excited to see other people's thoughts, and hopefully they can encourage me to get through this a bit more because I found Neva insufferable. So hopefully I'll have a nicer time if I'm reading alongside other people. And the other pick that I have is one that I'm a tiny bit more excited about because I haven't heard anything bad about it, and that is Ocean's Echo by Everina Maxwell. I am not going to be picking from the jar this month solely on the basis that I cannot risk one of my longer series coming up this month, and I've got all summer to read the longer series where I'm literally not doing anything. So with May being a bit hectic, I've decided I'm just going to give myself a duology, and the one I looked through all of my duologies and I chose The Quest for Heroes by Stephen Arion. I think it's the FOMO of the fact that book 3 in the Judas Blossom is coming out, and I know I'm not going to be able to get to it in May because, like I said, I can't get to a trilogy in May. So I'm reading these and then I'll get to The Nightingale and Falcon probably later on in the year. But I have these two. I have The Coward and The Warrior, and this has always been, this is the series that I discovered Stephen Arion through, and it's always been the one I'm most excited to get to, but I've decided to read Stephen Arion in publication order, so now we're finally onto these. And this is the story of Cal, who is a young man who joins in this quest because they need to go defeat some monster up north. He turns out to be the only survivor, and it's basically how then he's deemed like this legendary person and this legendary hero, and how he feels like he's not, like he's just a lucky survivor and he's dealing with PTSD. So when he gets asked to kind of go on another quest to go vanquish something else, how he kind of tackles that PTSD and that fame and the imposter syndrome and all of that. And I just love that concept so much because normally you have like Aragon, who's like overconfident instead of someone who is just woefully unprepared and nearly died and is traumatized. So I'm really, really excited to see how Stephen tackles those themes because I really love the way that Stephen tackles themes. So that's the series for the month. And now all we have left is the TBR jar. Let's hope that the TBR jar isn't really cruel to me. Oh, wait, no. I also have All's Well by Mona Awad rolling over from last month from my jar as well. So if the jar is cruel to me, I am not going to have a very good time. So jar time. Let's go see what the dice gives to me. What is that? I got a 1. Oh, thank God. Fucking hell. Okay, all right. Let's give this a good mix up because I've put some new things in here. All right, at the bottom here, this one, and this is blue, which means it's physical. This is how we lose the time. Oh no, How Long Till Black Future Month by N.K. Jemisin. Okay, I am really getting through Jemisin this year. The universe has decided that I need to finish up my Jemisins this year. Let's go get that. So we have How Long Till Black Future Month by N.K. Jemisin. I think that this is just short stories. I could be wrong. I don't know anything about this, and there's no synopsis on the back. Record-breaking, 3-time Hugo Award-winning and New York Times bestselling author N.K. Jemisin sharply examines modern society in her first short story collection, including several never-before-seen pieces. So again, not a full-length book, it's just short stories. So I could just probably get away with a short story a day or something, and just like slowly chip away at this one, which would be really good. So hopefully I can do that throughout the month. Weird to be talking about Black History Month during Asian Heritage Month, but alas, here we are. So that is all from me for today. So thank you ever so much for watching, and let me know if you've read any of these books and your thoughts on them, or what you're doing for May. What is the book you're most excited to pick up in the month of May? And yeah, I will hopefully catch you in another one soon. Bye.